that you don't see. I love really just top tier Sue play, and all the strategist bands, all of them for Techie there, so they have to kind of think about what else to pull together. We got Rocket Raccoon. We haven't seen a lot of Rocket this time around. Ultron also going to get some play, and shall we see some Penny, who, if you're on the ladder, and he's been making up quite the stir.
Always gets me excited because, you know, sometimes after seeing the action that you witnessed here for Citadel, I'm able to get set up here just before following up with Brute being the first to go here. Love the side-by-side comparison that we currently have between Fraud and Usher.
Yeah, Usher is relentless.
That Mantis ult, though, to help Techie push.
And back half a little bit. Techie trying to get cheeky there on the back, trying to force them to get out of there, but Fraud gets the elimination on Brute. That's going to keep the momentum up. The unbelievable coming from Mantis and that ult. Right now, they're just trying to make this a fair fight, as Avery's going to be using Extermination to keep everything healed, but the damage. But Usher is making that job easy for Citadel as they continue to push.
The ultimate from the Eternal Bond to close in that gap. Well, here goes the back cap.
Yeah, we saw a lot. Yeah, there's that back cap there from Tap. Great little great little Psylocke as she goes into the dance, and the butterflies trying to lock up an elimination. But Avery going to be traded with Frost, so this could be their window to get that gap. It's followed by Monster's group hug, getting everybody together, and they're storming in there, taking down the support. Blur trying to get some pressure on these strategists, going for Valentina, but there's Invisible Woman doing what she does best. Vicky getting out of danger. Neutral fight always so important, and Citadel does a great job at it without those ultimates. We've got the Eternal Bond ready to go. It is fired away. Mason's also got Emma's ultimate. We'll see if they use it and combine.
Tap, though, getting that first pick onto Fraud will just delay the Omega Hurricane for another fight now. Citadel Gaming down to a 5-man as Techie over on the other side had just utilized the Psionic Seduction. We also saw the Soul Resurgence. Mantis being able to get that ult just as quickly. Now on the other side, though, you have the Psionic Seduction coming out from Mace after finally coming back. And the positioning from Tap. A little bit of a slow start before that first initial swap up from Citadel being able to take that point here now as Tekken come in. Tap specifically getting that pick onto Usher before the invisible boundary came out. Talk about timing from Tap. They were not ready from the other side. Omega Hurricane now unleashed between Citadel just to desperately try to take the point. But you gotta deal with the Mantis Soul Resurgence first. Tap, the MVP thus far within this first round.
Tap is going crazy, just perfect poetry in motion. They had that set up for the final judgment. You had Punisher about to go in the ultimate with Invisible Woman. Instead, they burnt it. Now, Brute also putting the pressure on Velocity going down. This was all Citadel Gaming at first, Vicky, and now TEKIXD making things fun.
Oh, and that was off of the initial back cap, too. Their back line.
Yeah, look at this Mystery Heroes comp. You got Captain America, Mantis. Like, it doesn't matter. Great job on the 3 subs. And Tap just, I mean, those 70 limbs can't be said enough.
Taking a good amount of pressure, though, off the rip, forcing them off the high ground here, too, with Avery having that Ultron ult, though, just to start things off, trying to get Citadel off, and with Velocity going down first, this is going to be Techie taking over the point first here for round number 2.
I mean, right now, Techie, it's like they had their first little rough patch, and then it's been the Tap show going crazy with the Dance of the Butterflies, getting the double there in the full. Get that pressure on, using this little faux wall as long as they can. Monster now trying to get everybody together so he can get that imprisonment. We'll see if he got the window that he likes, but no, it turned Blur gets the pick.
Literally looked blurry the way they came out of left field. Monster could not look in his direction. No ability, no chance to use a Strangling Prison. Yes, you have the Soul Resurgence. Usher now just putting in the pressure. Valentina follow-up onto Ad and Avery. This forces out the Eternal Bond now from both sides, just keeping the survivability here. Techie are just trying to hold their progress for as long as possible to get even more percentage there on the point and before having to reset.
We typically see this Psylocke be Psylocke whenever one's going off, and Tap is definitely doing so. Fraud, though.
Nice. Blur, Avery, they're right there, too, having that Ultron ult, as Blur is the first one to initiate. Citadel having to back away just for now, waiting for them to go right into their line of sight. Mace now with the Psionic Seduction, though, from Mace.
Just pure pressure as Tap goes 1-2, make it 3. He wants 4, and there's the 4th, and make it 5 with the dash through and the finish. Period to cap that point back.
Has not died yet.
Currently only one Fraud on Psylocke, unfortunately, here. But right now, each team has nothing in their ultimate charge. This can be a pure neutral fight. These usually really tell the story of these matches. And I just love Techie. They're just going from these underdogs. Nobody really knew them to absolutely playing out of their mind. And there it is. There's the echoes for the double pop from the Psylocke shotgun.
The Echo's coming in to put in so much damage pressure when you're least expecting it in a side room where everyone is grouped up together. Valentina with the invisible boundary here too, with the eternal bond to be answered back. Now both sides utilizing the cloak and dagger ultimate. The survivability keeping everyone alive for now, but it is Fraud to go out first once again.
Yeah, and Usher is getting out there. That's going to be tough for them to make up from this. And right now, it's 99%. Teki looking to take map 1. We've got a little bit of dance going on. We've seen it plenty before from Tap. And Brute now finishing the job. And this just looks like a team that is completely different than what we saw in the uppers. They're lower bracket kings right now, and we're seeing it live. Rewrite. Teki there looking strong. If we look at the stats screen, wow, look at Tap there, 31-0. Pretty sure you can be proud of that stat line, no matter what happens in this tournament.
It's 17.6.
And yes, the save is there, but we have not seen the other weakness, which is Hawkeye. A lot at this moment. I do know that Wolfos does like to play a lot of cloak and dagger, and so that's going to be interesting. We've got the Invis now going, so we'll see what they end up doing. I like the Groot though from Blur.
Thinking here, we're going to witness from Tap 2 with the Punisher. Not surprised there, looking at the fact that... Looking to see how that's going to work with Tap being on that Punisher too. To look behind him from Citadel Gaming, trying to utilize the Punisher through the portal.
Yeah, we saw Solaris do this a lot. Punisher and Portal together here for the back and get that pressure. We saw Energy do pressure with Human Torch. Now they're doing the same thing, forcing Tap and friends to back up. And look at this aggression. This is what you want to see out of Citadel after what just happened. Usher getting in there on the Ultron.
This is so smart because it was the quick burst damage through the portal to then buy your spawn, swap over. Then you go into the triple strategist. And now Teki trying to do something similar. Come in from Blur's portal instead. And Tap is just going to spray away being on that Punisher turret.
Yeah, taking pages from each other's playbook, seeing if they can get a pick, but Usher instead getting that extermination on as Ultron takes out the other villain in Loki. We've got Monster trading with Tap, Fraud, Monster, Citadel, all working together in harmony here, and it's looking perfect for the course.
Man being able to wipe out Teki once again. Well, Teki's about to have 4 of those ultimates online. Citadel have the answers for it, though. Dropping in from the skies before getting pushed back. The force back is crazy here. Forcing Mesa back away, trying to negate the eye of Agamotto on top of it. So Resurgence, the invisible boundary here, too. Citadel now just trying to play on the edge of that invisible boundary, but having to be
Monsters
careful.
to combine that, so a lot going here for Citadel still.
Wolf was about to get the invisible boundary once again. Here comes that Psylocke ult though from the back from Fraud, just trying as Tap just unfazed, just keeps spurring through that one choke. There's the invisible boundary now from Wolfos, just trying to close in the gap from the psionic seduction that Monster puts down. They did lose out on Valentina though in the process, and now Citadel Gaming backing away over to the other side, still trying to boost up some more of that damage, looking at Teki specifically, and as they're going to be able to try to push in once again, just trying to stop at them, but the eye of Agamotto getting shut down from Tap.
Yeah, 2 Agamottos out and 2 nothing burgers coming from it, unfortunately. And a lot of resources used there from Citadel. They used it all. I mean, they had Immas, they had Psylocks, and everything's now charged back up as Avery finishes the job up and they're able to reset momentum. But here we go. We're going to get that same thing. We're going to get that Punisher turret immediately with the pressure. They're going in, and it's going to be a hot one as they both collide.
Oh, moving it together, too. Together with the Soul Resurgence, just going to be able to hold forward, trying to harass that backline. They've already found Avery, but they lose out on velocity here. Fraud also has the Dance of Butterflies, and now the Eternal Bond is going to just keep them and their feet planted on that point. Citadel Gaming in a nice retake approach. And being on this Loki here, too. Slowly approaching, getting that ult. Brute's about to have that meteor. Here comes Tap, though, with that Judgment. Wolf was still holding onto that invisible boundary. We answer that with Citadel. Don't even need it after they're able to find a meltdown maze. Velocity is going to meet him right back in the spawn, and it's going to be another takeover here from Teki.
I always hate when that happens. Usher has 1 HP left. Like whenever you just almost get the elimination. Again, not using it on the last half of this part of the map here. Now Brute, and they're keeping up the momentum. We've got the clouds opening up from the sky, and Omega Hurricane landing down. Vicky, let's see how many elims they can get from this, if any.
Not anything. At least just buying into the space and even more time before backing away, forcing Citadel back, but also didn't force out any ultimates either. Here comes Usher now with the Ultron ult. The Dance of the Butterflies is immediately countered with the invisible boundary. Great timing from Wolfos, and the meteor over to the other side, trying to find its mark. Doesn't land onto anything from the back of the cart.
That fight had more flashes than a paparazzi runaway. That was everything was used, and not one elim outside of, I guess. We had just one player go down, but Blur finishing off the job there at Velocity. That was chaos with not... I don't know how anyone survived, but Avery trying to get some pressure on the early Ultron. Usher doesn't. They want to see who can gain the airspace here, and there's Final Judgment. Mace putting up that aggression early. Has that Agamotto. 2 have not succeeded. Can they make it 3, though? Hitting... All that matters is 3 times the charm as Fraud now trying to get that pressure. Monster trading, and it's looking like this offensive push is going to be good to go.
Oh, the Eye of Agamotto here in the safety of the invisible boundary, too. Looking at Teki and looking at Tap making the quick swap, by the way, over to the Psylocke after dying there on the Punisher. Teki just retake the... Also, support output now currently with the Soul Resurgence. Mantis moves up here. Here's that Meteor trying to find it. Great save there, too. Huge coming in. Citadel, Mace just looking like get down, Mr. President, trying to protect Velocity in all of that, but then gets melted right through the other side as Tap comes in a flanking angle here over to the other side, combined hand in hand with Blur. They force Citadel all the way back,
making him flee, and then that was the story that was wrote there.
Least here looking at Teki. They have 4 ultimates to match out of the 4 ultimates available. About to be 5, by the way, with Mace about to have the Agamotto, the Omega Hurricane. At least forces out the Eternal Bond. It was forced here from Valentina. And now you have to worry about the Strangling Prison, the follow-up as Tap activates the Judgment here. The Dance of the Butterflies, but with no team to hold on the point. It's just all for nothing. Dancing with nobody but Ghost as Teki gets a plant their feet on this defense.
Not a single button wasted. That was an ult dump for the ages. I mean, just everything came out at once in the madness, and Teki was able to hold strong. Without question. I mean, the favorites are sweating Vicky, and the underdogs are playing like they've never heard the word. This was definitely supposed to be, what we would see formality out of Citadel. They've been here, done that.
But they're waiting out some of these ults, looking at Wolfwolves, who's about to have that invisible boundary to help out Tap, who's about to have that Judgment.
Yeah, you get the triple support, though, so you're going to have to... Oh, beautiful pick there. Triple support has a lot of ultimates to keep him alive. The strat just ready to go with Usher and Valentina locked in live. Valentina getting the trade on Tap. That's massive, and that's going to reset. That's definitely going to win the fight there. It'll bond, or they can go with Invisible Boundary, but here it is. We've got Storm coming from the skies. We're making a Hurricane going down, and do they get anything from it? Oh, man. Mace with the trade. That's a bummer.
Avery going down, though, in the middle of that Omega Hurricane here, too. Saw the 10th year of Velocity with the Eternal Bond that was used up earlier on, but this just forces
previous matches here as Brute now getting that poke damage, that pressure, building everything up. Citadel, though, fully loaded. Can Mace land the Agamotto that he's been waiting for? Not in a Strategist ult, and not getting pushed away as Tap has that pressure there with the Final Judgment.
Thing is, he's got only 1 meteor, and now the invisible boundary's been brought up. Another push on the Eye of Agamotto. Here comes the meteor trying to find its mark through the doorway. Doesn't find anyone being able to reposition. Tap still finds Monster, though. Monster going down first sometimes here with this approach, and Usher actually having the extermination just as quickly as we saw it used up for the first fight. Coming back, forcing back Teki just for now, but Whipples does have that invisible boundary.
Got Fraud here with the all-powerful Emma ult, and right now it is all momentum for Citadel. They're going to see if Tap can maybe get the pick as Monster makes his way back here. Brood now trying to go on the back line, get these strategists out of there. There's 3 of them. There's so much to deal with at once. As Brood now does get the pick on Mace, getting rid of one of those Vanguards, but there is Monster back from the spawn with clobbering time.
Oh, the clobbering time found 3 stuns, but then Avery with the Omega Hurricane, the follow-up from Brew. It is just a shish kebab here as Teki finally clear out Citadel.
Finally, there's that ultimate Omega Hurricane. She called the weather warning. Nobody listened, and they didn't need to the last 2 times, but that time they got the best.
We'll say it's hurricane season, but they don't want to give it up just yet, even playing off the ledge of the car as Tap is forced to unleash the Judgment. Even through the invisible boundary, though, they have to back away. That just allowed them to recontest just as quickly off of Mace's portal.
That's why Ultron's ult is just so powerful in this triple support lineup. You can have that pressure, and all it takes is that to get this team pushed back. There's only 17 seconds on the clock, and Brute going down as well. They're going to have to figure something out, or this is going to go into a 3rd match.
I'm here for it, Cozy. We've been waiting for this moment, but there's going to be another portal play first that they have to get through. A Teki Tap off to the side. Avery getting stunned. The Eye of Agamotto coming out. Wolfos having it available, though. Citadel now with Velocity having that Eternal Bond. They lose out on Valentina early from Avery in the skies, and the clobbering time now from Monster. Citadel Gaming just trying to play this out for as long as possible, but Teki aren't giving this just yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, he called that one whiff NATO there. It was whiff NATO. That was not a good meteor that you wanted to connect there. But either way, Tap is doing what he does best. And it looks like they don't need it as they're going to maybe get this point. The overtime. The overtime is just barely hanging on, but they do it. Teki is able to get it done and get this first point with no time left.
By a crumb, they hold their breath. They can breathe now.
And you've got Final Judgment. So just spacing these out, making sure you get the best of them. If they can get Usher away from there, this is going to be big. Will he open up with the Extermination into this Omega Hurricane? Yes, he does.
That's the immediate counter. Although you do get shielded by your own Magneto, you're forced to back away. You literally poked your head out once with the Omega Hurricane. Now you're forced back. Here comes Tap, though. The insurance policy to keep that pressure up. Once that Omega Hurricane was done, AMER then follows up. Finish off Valentina and Citadel Gaming now down 3 members, it looks like here. Make it 3 at that point.
As now Mace trying to get some space, trying to get in there. They have the Eternal Bond to push in. You've got Magneto going up route. Will it be another whiff Nito? Oh, unfortunately it was, but they may not need it just like last time, Vicky, as they push in for the last potential. Yeah, we got maybe one more fight in here, but this is a big one.
Oh, the whiff Nito, the cry Nito here. It's always hurts physically, but Avery's right there to still keep harassing Valentina. Tap now gets the other strategist, and the only one on the other side from Usher and Citadel Gaming, though, having only that ultra persistent ability is not going to be enough. Even when it's last minute, less than a minute on the clock, Teki still get the job done.
Yes,
Lord here, Brute controlling that space, looking to the side, though. I ignore what they're waiting for them with the Captain America here, too. Here comes Usher now with the Extermination. The Omega Hurricane now trying to find its mark over to the other side. Straight down the middle as it clears up the space here. No combination here in general as Tap still holding on to that Judgment just for that next push.
A good pressure there. They used the cloak bubble to keep everybody up. Bro trying to get that quick damage, but Final Judgment coming. We just saw this Wombo combo. It was the Stormal into the Final Judgment. He's chasing. He's hunting. We got 1, 2. It's a Cat 2 at the moment, and they have all the pressure. Not a lot of time or space left. Can Teki do this?
Oh, they're right there, just approaching slowly. Avery gets another KO into Velocity. Tap and Avery together have woken up. Teki right now looking at the spawn room doors of Citadel Gaming. Citadel, they thought they had a chance. They thought they could hold back Teki, but they can't. Teki, take it home.
Call the odd makers.
I mean, honestly, I'm happy it was a 2-0 right there, but I was waiting for it to go the distance because I wanted to see Teki play out more. Just the fact that they were able to reset, even with Avery going down first a few times there on that second round, but still being able to push through together with Tap and then finding that momentum. Avery had everything to pop off there.
I mean, just incredible performance. I mean, there was no time, 0 time left on that.